Jacquemus is how it is said in French.
Jacquemus. Okay.
Jacquemus.
Jacquemus. Right. All right. Hey guys, I'm Zach and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at the Jacquemus Air Force Ones. Now this will be the first and only time I mention that name because it took me quite a few times of listening to that video to try and figure out how to say it, and honestly, I don't want to butcher the name. I think I got it right that one time. Let's end on a high and say, yep, I know how to say it. With that being said, getting into this sneaker silhouette, the Air Force One from Jacquemus, this is why I'm not saying it again, I really loved this sneaker, which was a surprise because I personally didn't like it online. I just sort of picked it up for the video. Getting straight into it, I think we should talk about the biggest thing around the silhouette, and that is the fact that the sole is sort of woven and weaved in throughout this silhouette. Now, I was very curious to see how that actually would feel on foot, and I was pleasantly surprised to say, hey, this is actually very comfortable to wear. However, you definitely feel the decrease in the height of this Air Force One. And Air Force One, when I say Air Force One, it definitely feels a little bit weird to say because I feel like this is a little bit too far of a transformation in terms of the design to keep calling it Air Force One. Regardless, you are not getting that typical Air Force One sole, which means you are quite low to the ground. However, you're not getting rid of the comfort, and I think the comfort throughout the silhouette is one of the main highlights and aspects that I really enjoyed. Of course, you've got that woven sole, which honestly is actually quite comfortable to the touch. But that reduce in height means you are a little bit more flat-footed. You will feel the ground walking on this pair a little bit more, but that's not to say it's not comfortable. And getting into the actual comfort and the up of this silhouette, which is made of like a smooth, soft leather, it is very comfortable to the touch. Honestly, looking at photos online and even looking at it in hand, you wouldn't really get that sort of feel and look. However, it is very comfortable to wear. I feel like it's not as thick as a typical Air Force One in terms of the leather, as I felt like I was sort of wearing a leather sock, which was very interesting to wear. I could honestly see this pair sort of being wearing in like jiu-jitsu or boxing type silhouettes where you're wearing a little bit more of a flat foot sneaker. And that's not to say in terms of the silhouette it looks bad. I think it's very simplistic in nature, other than that sole of course, which is quite out there and loud. I definitely like that there was some minimal details throughout this, including the little swoosh on the side instead of that classic sort of big Nike swoosh that comes down. However, the more I wore this pair, I sort of drew away from it, which was really interesting because at first I wasn't a big fan of it online. I got it in hand and I thought it was really nice. And then the more I wore it, the less I liked it. The comfort on this pair, excellent. There is no problems there. However, I just think the styling would be a bit weird with this pair because it is so slim and sleek throughout and the leather is so smooth. It sort of hugs your foot like wearing a leather sock, which would probably be the best comparison for this silhouette. And unfortunately, I just don't know how I would style this. With a wide trouser, it feels like the silhouette is a little bit too small and just sort of gets engulfed by the trouser. But with a slimmer silhouette, it sort of feels like, as I said, you're going to training, or it doesn't really feel like a sneaker that sort of, I don't know, runs the outfit. It's very hard to describe. I think it would be interesting to hear your guys' opinions in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think you could actually style this with. But for me, looking at my wardrobe, I couldn't really find a pair of pants or even shorts for that matter that would go with this silhouette. Now, that's not to say that it's bad by any means, but when a sneaker is so hard to style, I just think it doesn't really have a place in your wardrobe. Now, if you guys, of course, figure out an outfit that you can wear with these, let me know in the comment section down below. But for now, I just don't really see much of a purpose in this silhouette. I definitely think it's a very interesting take on an Air Force One, and as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I feel like it's such a departure from an Air Force One that it should just be called its own sort of silhouette for the brand. However, I just don't really see the cues of the Air Force One throughout this. Of course, removing the swoosh and the sole are two prominent elements of the Air Force One, so that's where I feel like they've departed a little bit too far away from the Air Force One, which of course, as I said, it's not a bad thing if you're trying to make your own type of silhouette. However, I just don't know how this is going to fit into my wardrobe. For that reason, I will be sending this one back, unfortunately. But getting into some details for those that do want to stick around and do want to pick up a pair. In terms of sizing, it does run true to size. I did pick up a size US 12, which typically in Air Forces, I do go half a size down. However, US 12 is, of course, the sizing I use across all my sneakers. Nike, Jordan, Adidas. Size US 12 typically fits me perfectly. I picked up a 12 in this model and it fit perfectly. No critiques there. As I mentioned, the comfort before is quite comfortable. You're not going to be complaining wearing this silhouette. But getting back into the styling, it's just something I can't really figure out for my wardrobe. So as again, I will be sending this one back. Now this was just a quick video to show you the, I'll be gonna try and attempt the word here, Jacquemus Air Force Ones on feet. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop a like down below. If you have any comments about this sneaker, any sort of questions or queries, or even just leave your thoughts down below on what you thought, that would be great to see. I'm quite responsive in the comment section. And if you want to see more content from me, Zach, in the future, feel free to subscribe down below as well. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you in the next one. See ya.